Remember this video?
This bitch right here just tied this fucking dog up and is leaving him here.
If you haven't seen it, you can go watch it on my page or the original poster's page. It pretty much went viral, and the news even interviewed the guy who picked up the dog. Well, the lady who dropped the dog off has now came out and gave her side of the story. And this is why they say there's three sides to every story. That side, and the truth. So I'm going to use my platform to make sure her side of the story is heard as well.
So here's my side of the story. So as you all know, I am Elizabeth Dorsett, and I just wanted to come on here to clear up my name, not to justify anything that I did, because it wasn't right. So I recently just had a baby by a man who I trusted. I married. I moved across the state with him and left everything behind that I ever knew.
This next part of the story, I'm going to paraphrase for you because her original video is 7.5 minutes long. I'm going to tag her in this video so you can go watch her original if you would like. But I'm just going to paraphrase this part and then we'll get back to the dog. So she moved across the state, which is Florida, to be with this guy, leaving behind everything to include her family. Then her mom got really ill, so she had to go back home to take care of her mom. And she was pregnant. While she was taking care of her mom, this guy was cheating on her, but she didn't know about it. And get this, he was cheating on her with her sister and other women as well. They had made plans to move to Houston and start a life together with their kid, but she found out that he was cheating on her, and then he blew up when she found out that he was cheating on her. He ends up kicking her out of the house, not even helping her out. She's pregnant with his child. He don't give a shit. So she has nothing, and he's still sending money to the women that he was cheating on her with, but not helping her at all. Fast forward, and he's like, hey, let's proceed with our original plan. Let's put the past behind us. Let bygones be bygones. Let's go to Houston and start our life together. So she does. They go to Houston. She gets there first. He sends the dog. The dog's name is Storm. She picks Storm up at the airport, which is a 9-hour drive for her, and she's 9 months pregnant at this time. And then he shows up. He gets there and doesn't do anything. She's 9 months pregnant and doesn't really have enough money to provide for herself, much less the dog and him. And he does nothing to help her out because she's pretty much dependent on him. It got so bad, she was stealing food for her and the dog. She had to steal food to feed herself and feed the dog. Meanwhile, the guy's still sending money to the other women and hasn't bought anything for their son on the way. A crib, a stroller, nothing. So now, the dog part of the story.
So fast forward, I give birth and we come back to the apartment, and Storm had torn up the apartment and broke out of his cage. Which leads me to the day where you guys see me leaving Storm at the gas station because I had no other option. I called all the shelters in Houston, and they were saying that they didn't have any openings till months, forward. And I couldn't just keep on neglecting Storm like that. I mean, he's a very loving dog, but he requires a lot of attention that I wasn't able to give him. And I kept telling him that I needed help, and he didn't want to help me. So I just had no choice but to do what I did.
So she's at her wit's end. She's a brand new mother, probably dealing with postpartum depression, amongst other emotions. This guy who's been cheating on her is not helping her out. So she didn't know what else to do. She dropped the dog off. Then the video goes viral. The news picks it up. The guy finds out that she dropped the dog off that he's not even helping taking care of. He blows up on her and he's like, yo, I'm leaving.
I did it on camera that you're abandoning your family. He just left the apartment and he took everything with him, and he's getting on a flight. Correct?
Yes. So that was him abandoning his newborn child and his girlfriend to go back home because he was mad she gave the dog away that he wasn't taking care of anyway. So to conclude, let me say this. First and foremost, I apologize to this young lady because in my video, I was angry because I saw somebody just dumping a dog. There's something I say all the time. You never know what somebody's going through. There's three sides to every story. But yet I let my own emotions get the better of my judgment. And I was angry. So I was wrong. I jumped to conclusions, and that makes me an asshole. An asshole who owes her an apology. And there's a lot of assholes out here that owe her an apology. We never know what somebody's going through, and if you listen to her story and you can't understand why she put that dog there that day, then you're an apathetic asshole. I'm sorry. Sometimes I've noticed that people give more grace to animals than they do to people. Nobody's perfect. We all have our shortcomings, but what that woman was going through, I get it. And in the end, the dog ended up in a really good home and in a really good position. So direct your hate elsewhere, and to Miss Dorsett, my apologies for my own actions.